Good evening, guys. Hope you're all well. This is Ulas, and we'll be starting with a very interesting topic today, that is the structure of the breast. Let's get started, guys. Guys, see here, I have drawn a diagram. This signifies the anatomical extent of the breast. Okay, see here, guys. The breast extends from second rib to sixth rib vertically, and horizontally it extends from the lateral border of sternum to the mid-axillary line, and there is an axillary tail of Spence which enters the axilla. Axilla is the armpit. Guys, we'll discuss that in detail when we are discussing the lymphatic drainage of the breast. Here, see here, guys. This here is a very important muscle. This is called pectoralis major. We discussed in the first day now. Pectoralis major, pectus is chest, major is bigger. The bigger muscle of the chest is the pectoralis major. Breast is overlying the pectoralis major muscle, and here is an important muscle called serratus anterior, and there is also part of a muscle called external oblique. These are all what is below the breast if you're seeing from front. Okay, see here, guys. Then in green I'm drawing a layer here. This is called pectoral fascia. Fascia is a layer of connective tissue which is overlying the pectoral muscle. It's called pectoralis fascia. Okay, and here there is a space, guys, in front of the pectoralis fascia. This is called retromammary space. Okay, retromammary space, there is just loose connective tissue. There is no significant structure. So that is why the breast can move freely in all directions, because of the retromammary space. Okay, see here, guys. This is where the mammary gland substance will be there. We'll be discussing that in detail. Okay, and guys, there is one more important landmark. It's the nipple areolar complex. Even in males and in females, the nipple areolar complex lies at the level of fourth rib. Fourth rib is a very important surface landmark because see here, guys, when we in physiology, we'll be doing auscultation of the heart sounds, and there are four regions. Among them, one is a mitral region. Mitral region lies below the nipple areolar complex, and we take nipple areolar complex as a landmark when we are hearing for the heart sounds there. Okay, that's a very important thing, remember, guys. And even in when we are checking for the respiration, the expansion is taken at the level of fourth rib, because that's where the maximum inspiration happens. Okay, that's a very important landmark, remember, guys. Let's continue and see here, guys. Breast is a modified sweat gland. That is usually they'll ask it as a fact more than that of a clinical importance. Okay, see here, guys, let's get to the structure. The structure of the breast can be divided into three headings mainly: the skin, parenchyma, and stroma. The skin, mainly the breast is covered by the skin. The important part is here is the nipple areolar complex. Nipple areolar complex, there is something important called Montgomery's tubercles. See here, there are actually sebaceous glands around the nipple areolar complex, around the areola basically. During pregnancy they get enlarged. What they do is they secrete some of the secretions which lubricate the areola. So when there is suckling of the milk by the baby, there is no damage to the areola of the mother. There is no tearing, crackling in there. So that's the purpose of Montgomery's tubercles, which are enlarged in pregnancy. And see here, guys, this parenchyma. Parenchyma is basically the glandular part, the secretory part of the breast. See here, the breast mainly is divided into these parts: the lactiferous duct, the lactiferous sinus, the ductal system which ends in lobules. These are the lobules. Lobules contain alveoli. Alveoli are the secretory parts of the breast. Okay, and see, all those alveoli, all those lobules come together and form a lobe. This is the lobe, guys. And see here, whatever milk comes, it comes from here into the lactiferous sinus to the lactiferous duct, and around 15 to 20 lactiferous ducts converge at the nipple areolar complex, and the milk is ejected through the nipple. And you remember two important points, guys. The production of milk is stimulated by a hormone called prolactin, and the ejection of milk is done by the oxytocin hormone. We'll discuss that in detail when we go to the physiology. Okay, now see here, guys. This is the stromal part. The stroma basically means support. So I'll discuss that in detail with you. See here. Yeah. See guys, this is the representation of the breast. I told you na, the 15 to 20 of the lactiferous ducts converge at the nipple areolar complex. These ones. Okay, these ones. This is the glandular part. Now tell me guys, here can you see any bone or muscle here which supports the breast? There is pectoralis major muscle here, but that isn't supporting the shape of the breast. Breast is usually round in shape now. That's maintaining a shape. So it's not done by any muscle, and there is obviously no bone in the breast. If there was a bone, breast would have been a hard structure, but it isn't. So what is maintaining the structure of the breast? We'll discuss that now. See here guys, इधर देखो, there are around 15 to 20 lobes ना, lobes ही है इधर. These are the lobes. अब बोलना, if there is no supporting structure, the upper lobe can compress on the lower ones, upper ones can compress here. If this gets compressed, the milk can't be ejected through here, है ना? This happens, right? So it isn't happening in a normal cases. Why is that? Because the nature has created breast in such a way that there is fat around here, a soft cushiony material around them. Okay, so that is preventing the collapse, and there is an optimal function from all the parts of the breast. Okay, but itna hone se does the breast become round? No, right? If there was just fat, it would have sagged down, but there is a round contour here. So that is done by something called suspensory ligaments of Cooper. Suspensory ligaments of Cooper, that's a very important topic. Focus guys, I'll tell you now. See here, suspensory ligaments of Cooper are like this. They are suspended around the lobules, around the lobes, from here to the skin. From here to the skin, they connect the pectoral fascia to the skin. See here, see here, see here, 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 here. They are called the ligaments of Cooper. Ligaments of Cooper are what give the shape to the breast, guys. So I will tell you how they work basically. Imagine this is a tent, okay, and this is the pectoral fascia, and this is the skin. So the ligaments of Cooper are holding them in such a way that they are pulled towards the pectoralis fascia. When these many ligaments of Cooper work together, that gives a round shape to the breast. Okay, that's a very important thing. Remember that. And that is what gives the shape to the breast, guys. So how is it clinically significant? Let's see it. See here, imagine that there's a tumor here. There is something called as a desmoplastic change. So that, what does that cause? See, if there's a cancerous lesion here, it can spread through the suspensory ligaments and go to the pectoralis fascia, into the pectoralis muscle. It can also go into the skin. So there is a spread of cancerous tissue via the suspensory ligaments of Cooper. And see, one more thing is there, guys. Abhi dekhna, whenever there is a tumor, because of such change, there is pull by the tumor. The tumor pulls its all the structures near. So it is pulling the skin near it. If there is pulling the skin near it, do you think the skin would appear normal? Obviously it won't appear normal. The skin will be pulled inside. And if it's in the nipple layer, the nipple will be pulled inside. So if nipple is pulled inside, it is retracted. So that is one of the signs of a cancer in a female. So that is what we examine in surgery, guys. In surgery, we examine the breast, and these are all the very important topics. So if there is puckering, and if many of the ligaments of Cooper are like that, there's something called as pudgy orange. The breast will appear like an orange skin. So that is also an indication of cancer. So that is a very important topic. Okay then guys, we'll end the class here today. In the next class, we'll be discussing the blood supply and the lymphatic drainage of the breast. That is one of the very important topics. We'll learn how we can remember the channels and what's the clinical importance basically. Guys, this is a question for you today. do you think the breast cancer can happen in a male? Okay, I'll repeat the question. Do you think the breast cancer can happen in a male? If yes, in what condition? If no, why not? Guys, we'll be discussing that in the next class. Until then, take care. Bye.